picking them. Hold on. For some reason, it's not.
I think it just started again.
There you go. There you go. All right. Let's hit that again for a post. Sorry that I'm hitting that thing again. Here. 3, 2. And welcome everybody to the Go Home Wrestling Show. My name is EJ. Alongside with me, above me is Madgriff. And D-Shep will be back within a week or two due to personal reasons. So he'll be back. Until then, the two of us will hold down the fort. How was your week?
I'm not really hearing you. You're choppy all of a sudden.
Oh, really?
Oh. There we go. There we go.
All right. Well, there you go. Lovely.
My week's been fantastic, man. A lot of wrestling to cover.
I know. And we wanted to cover the other stuff throughout the week, but couldn't get to it. But nonetheless, here we are. We got a lot to cover. Let's get right to it. And we got the Super Showdown. No sweeper for that. So for the folks that are wondering, no sweeper on this one. Oh, actually, yeah. See, Did I go choppy again?
No, you're good, man. I got you loud and clear on my end.
Okay, cool. Yeah, real quick. Actually, I want to get a few things before we get started into the Super Showdown coverage. First things first. Yeah, if you listen to this right now in the podcast form, we are live every Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer under Go Home Wrestling Show. And, of course, if you guys can't listen to this live, and if you just want to hear it on the go, we are on iTunes under Go Home Wrestling Show. We're also under SoundCloud and Google Podcast and now Stitcher. We got approved for that. We're on Stitcher now too. So Go Home Wrestling Show. You can follow us on there, and make sure we got a contest for you guys when you subscribe to iTunes. So we have a contest we're going to bring to you later on in the show. And finally, we are now part of a Twitch network. It's the Twitch Wrestling Network, alongside with B. Ferris. Cal-El is awesome. B. Ferris TV. Timmy Big Guns 36. Artemisia Studios. Thank you. There you go. You got that. And MMPR Mastodon. A nice family. We're so happy to be a part of that. So the Twitch Wrestling Network. And if you're watching us live right now on Twitch, you go just exclamation point. What's that? I'm sorry. TWN. And you get the links of everyone that's a part of that Twitch Wrestling Network. Please give them a follow. They're a nice family, and we're so happy to be a part of it. All right. Well, now that we got the business out of the way, and we'll talk about the contest later, let's go right into the Super Showdown. And, I mean, a lot of expectations, with this. Quite a few good matches. Some were, thrown in there as like a glorified house show. But nonetheless, I mean, there was still excitement in the air. There was excitement on social media. So go right into the first match. Was the New Day versus the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I mean, you kind of saw the tag team, these two go at it before for the tag. Well, not for the tag titles, but in the tag team action recently. But overall, I think they did a pretty decent job. I mean, given that there's some people that had the little weaknesses, and then there's a lot of strengths on both sides, but one thing that did take away was, again, the lack of stamina from Sheamus. But nonetheless, it was still a good match. I mean, what did you think of that match going into it? To start off the show.
In this match, because we have seen it before. We watched them face off on Raw and various different points. And to me, it's always kind of been a letdown. Yeah. So I was dreading it coming into this match, but to be completely honest, I enjoyed the crap out of this match. This was a ton of fun. It was pretty action-packed. Again, Sheamus, like we've been saying for weeks, seemed winded.
Yeah.
But man, how about that finisher by Kofi and Xavier Woods? That was nuts. It kept me on the edge of my seat. It was a good match. I enjoyed that entire match all the way through.
And one thing you can say is that the New Day would never like upset you as far as their performance. I mean, they're always top notch. I mean, we always thought about like the possibility of them going solo and how far they could go, and I think 2 to 3 could definitely reach the heights that they thought they never could. Kofi and Big E, not so much Xavier, but nothing against him. He's good on the mic and all that, but I don't know. It can't be believable for him to be a main event guy, unlike Kofi and definitely Big E. But
and I don't know about that. Xavier here recently has really been changing my mind about that. I didn't see any way he could be a singles competitor.
You think different on that? Like, you think he could actually, like, main event? You think he could do a main event?
I don't think main event, but
That's
maybe
what
a
I'm
U.S.
saying.
Maybe a U.S. title type run, something like that. I could definitely see something like that. I could see a Santina Marella type role for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be excellent at something like that and bringing the comedy back on his own rather than for so many years now.
All right, and yeah, I don't know why that keeps dropping in and out. Xavier will make a great heel manager. Yeah, I think that's where he, like, because he is a very smart, articulate guy, and you can see it in his promos. You can definitely see that. But he could play that mind game, so that's where he'll come in. He could be the modern day, and I know this might be going out, out of a limb, but a modern day Paul Heyman. Just the way he can present himself in those promos, how he words them, the emotion. I definitely see that in him. But like I said, the two main event guys I can see come out of that trio is Big E and, of course, Kofi Kingston. So overall, from that match, I mean, I know we're going to go... Basically, what we're going to do is just going to give a brief how we thought about the matches, and then we're going to rate them real quick, and then, of course... you know what? I forgot the sheet upstairs. Damn it! You know what? If you can, we'll wait till the next one, and then I just won't be able to, have a rebuttal for what you say with the Flair... Lynch match. But going back to the New Day in the bar, how would you rate that from 1 to 5 on that?
It was a solid match. It wasn't anything over the top, but I'll give it a 3.5.
I would actually agree with you on that. I'm not even going to disagree because it was a great match to start off. It was like the previous pay-per-view at Hell in a Cell with Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. Incredible match to start off. This one, probably not as good as that, but it was still a really good tag team match. All right, so you go from that to the SmackDown Women's title. Back-to-back SmackDown matches. Kind of weird, though, that they went with that, but nonetheless, yes, Flair and Lynch. Flair getting her rematch clause, going against Becky Lynch. That defeated her back in Hell in a Cell. Up to this match, the storyline leading up to it was that Charlotte was trying to figure out what happened to Becky. They were good friends and trying to establish like what made her, go the route she has gone. And then in that process, she tried to fix their friendship, but Becky didn't want no part of it. But going into the match, I mean, Flair, it was a pretty good match in my opinion. A lot of emotion. You're emotionally invested. They really displayed a hatred for one another, and they did it again on SmackDown, which we'll get into later on. Okay. Overall, what did you think about the match, and how would you rate it?
And I'll keep this pretty brief. Flair, Lynch, they've obviously got something going. There's chemistry inside the ring. They always put on a great show. So I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah.
There was a lot of blowback over the finish of this match. To me, it was a great setup, trying to force everybody to believe Lynch as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that it's not going over like they expected it to go over.
Yeah.
But they keep pushing that character, and the more they do, the more it keeps growing. I heard on a different show earlier this week, we're going to call this the reverse Roman Reigns, and that's exactly what it is. They want her to get booed. She's going to get cheered no matter what. So, rating-wise, I'll give it a 4. It was a good match.
Oh, wow, we're not disagreeing too much this week, unlike last week where you got upset with me when I put Shelton Benjamin in my power rankings. But nonetheless, this week, 2 for 2 as far as agreeing with one another. Yeah, I do agree with you. As giving it a 4, 5. And this is probably being a little picky, but I did like what they tried to do with the ending. I think it could have been executed better. They could have probably came up with something a little better, in my opinion, than what he did. But I see what they were trying to do, and it was a nice approach, a correct approach. I think they could have probably did something better, and it probably would have, got more heat in the way if she would have done something more dastardly, if I could say. So yeah, that's why I give that a 4. But again, emotional investment was definitely there, and I'll tell you, if you take the AJ and Samoa Joe storyline, that's the next best thing. That's the one that I find that, as far as both brands, emotionally invested, because they're doing such a great job with that. All right, so then we go on to the third match, and then of course this is considered like a glorified house show. It's not really a big pay-per-view. This has kind of been brought on last second too, as you got Lashley and Cena versus Owens and Elias, and again, there wasn't really much of a build-up. Pretty much the build-up was that Lashley kept interrupting Elias every time Elias tried to do a performance. Then one of the weeks where Lashley was doing a meditation session with Jinder Mahal, Owens, after a week before quitting, came back and attacked him. That was pretty much the build of this. Not much of a build, but nonetheless, it was a very entertaining match. Of course, it was the first match that we've seen John Cena since WrestleMania against The Undertaker. And of course, he got to display his 6 move of doom live and on pay-per-view as opposed to a house show when he first displayed that. But yeah, he did display that, and of course, he nailed the Drifter with it for the victory. Overall, I mean, what did you think of the match?
Boring. I mean, like you said, there was no build to this, and it's exactly what we all expect it to be. Lashley, Cena run their powerhouse in the match, blah, blah, blah. It just wasn't worth my time. I give it a 2.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm and it's not to up you, but I did like the match. I'll give it a 2.5, but for the reason, it kind of reminded me of an old school match when they just threw people together and they would put on a match on a house show. I've been to plenty of house shows in the Philadelphia Spectrum, Recovery Center over the years, and it was that kind of a feeling of a match. And it brought me back to those times, and I did enjoy it. But as far as, there was no emotional investment because there wasn't much of a build. And that could be just due to the lazy 20-man writing team they have on Raw. So you give it a 2, I give it a 2.5. But then we go on to the next match, and that is the tag team action of Asuka and Naomi going against the Iconics yet again. It is pretty repetitive, but you know what? I will say that the Iconics they're pretty good. Asuka's pretty good. Naomi, getting there. I'm starting to feel her a little bit more, and not in a sexual way, of course. This ain't #MeToo. But in the match, Iconics win when Billie Kay hit Naomi with the running knee. Pretty impressive maneuver, if you ask me, to get the victory. But overall, I know you may not be emotionally invested like you are in other women's matches. How did you feel about this one, at least?
It's another one of those I was really dreading the match. But I was highly impressed. The Iconics are way better than what I really thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, and Asuka is who Asuka is. I mean, arguably one of the best talented women on the roster.
Yeah.
Naomi, man, I go back and forth on her. Some days I really like her. Some days I'm like, what are they doing with her? But all 4 women put on a great show on this. I would actually give this a 3.5. I enjoyed this match.
All right. I was going to give it a 3, and I'm going to stick by that. Even despite what you said, that brought a couple things I wouldn't have thought of. Again, someone in chat said it perfectly. Naomi was better as a heel. They're just some people are just natural at what they are. She's a natural heel. Charlotte's a natural heel. Becky can be both. They're just people that are naturally either a face or heel, and you can't see them going the other way. And this one is just another one where Naomi is better as a heel. I've seen her work as a heel. Great job. Knocks it out of the park. But nonetheless, I did enjoy the match, but I stick with my rating there. And Damn, we are flying through this pretty quick. Wow. But no. All right, so we go from, tag team action. Now we're back over to the, we're on the SmackDown side again. But this time, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. And I got a question for you after we discuss this, though. But you know what? This is a storyline that we've been invested in. Enjoying the hell out of it. The writing's been incredible from start to even up to this point. Even if this is the end, it was a good storyline. But I think it will pick up eventually. And I have a theory of when that's going to happen. But, of course, Samoa Joe got personal with his family, did a series of personal attacks. The last one being where he showed up at the front door of AJ Styles' home. And you know what? Pretty good ending because it ended right there. Left people thinking what happened. And that was that old school mentality or storytelling that you just don't see too much today. And I love that. But we're going to the match at Super Showdown. Really good match. I mean, again, you can never disappoint you with these two. I've seen a lot of the matches TNA. I've seen the couple they had at Ring of Honor. They never disappoint. But then Styles gets the victory with the submission, and there you are. He's still the WWE champion. A lot of people thought he was going to finally drop the title, this time to Samoa Joe, but, I mean, overall, what'd you think of the match?
First, I see B Ferris TV in the chat room. Definitely, I want to shout out B Ferris.
Thank you, sir.
Great streamer. Everybody, make sure you go over there and follow him. He put together this Twitch Wrestling Network. I've been a big fan of B Ferris TV for a long time now. And B Ferris, I want to thank you for the opportunity, man.
Mm-hmm. And also,
yeah.
Go ahead. No. Oh, no, what I was going to say, speaking of, I should have announced this when we were talking about the Twitch Wrestling Network. We're actually going to be having a show on this very channel on every Monday at 2 p.m., where we're going to show the best of the universes that are a part of the Twitch Wrestling Network, presented by me and whoever wants to join me as a guest. But yeah, we're going to display the best matches from all the universes on the Twitch Wrestling Network. Mondays at 2. Next week will be the first episode. It's going to be a double episode for the delay. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Perfect. So getting into this match, as you said, we were heavily invested in this. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, AJ Styles is the best in the world. I was highly impressed with this. This is so far in WWE the best match between these two to date. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Both guys left nothing in the ring the other night. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. And to me, it was the right finish. Keep that title on AJ and keep bringing new guys to challenge him. Does it hurt Samoa Joe's credibility? It's the only thing I worry about a little bit on this. But I would give this a 4.5. Fantastic match.
Damn, I don't like the fact that I'm agreeing with you. Again.
It's about time you got a little smarter.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. It's not you, it's me.
I didn't put Shelton Benjamin in my top 5.
Thank you, Timmy Big Guns, for the host on Twitch. Thank you so much. But, no, I agree with you. 4.5. And I've seen a lot of the matches. One in person back in 2005, believe it or not, in Ring of Honor. And I enjoyed that match. I enjoyed definitely this one. I've seen their TNA matches, but I'm going to be honest with you. Probably the best in years. And I mean, they had a couple of good ones in the late years of the TNA. But for guys that are 40, one's 41, one's 38. And they're still pulling off the matches that they were pulling off 13 years ago in Philadelphia. Putting it out. Thank you, Timmy. Oh, my God. And hi, Joe, in chat. Right away. But, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It was a 4.5. I don't know, 5-0? The only way I would say it would be a perfect 5-0. I don't... Actually, how could you make it a perfect 5? Was there a way that could be, like, possible? No?
I didn't catch you there.
I'm saying, it, like, there's a... I put it as a 4.5. Is there a way that they could have been a 5.0?
The only way I think it could have gotten to a 5, there were a few small botches in the match. Yeah. If they cleaned that up just a little bit, I definitely would have given it a 5.
Yeah, at least it wasn't slowed down now.
Correct.
They kept it going, and it was good emotional investment, great chemistry, great storytelling, and of course they didn't disappoint. All right, so I mean we're really agreeing on most of these matches, and I'm shocked that we even did agree. So, well, it's because
There's a first for everything.
Yeah, there is a first for everything. I guess it's just because we're getting to be around each other more, and I think we're growing on to each other here. Okay, but yeah, I agree with you. 4.5. All right, so we're gonna move along. We're gonna go from SmackDown to Raw. We got the Ronda Rousey, the Raw Women's Champion, along with the Bellas versus the Riot Squad. Now, it was a pretty entertaining match. Not to the level as the other one, and I'm gonna go out of. I know it might not be a popular opinion, but even though it's Ronda Rousey, it wasn't like the SmackDown. It just wasn't much to it, and I guess it was probably some of the people that were involved. But, of course, Rousey got the victory for her and the Bellas with a double armbar, which I did like that spot, but it really, I felt, hurt the Riot Squad as far as their stock. I don't know. I guess, going up against a UFC fighter, I don't see it happen in any other way, but this is the world of the WWE. But, well, you got my opinion. What's your opinion on that match?
We're pretty much going to go side by side on this as well. It was okay. It kept me entertained. I wasn't getting up and running off to go get snacks or anything, so it was all right. Definitely agree with what you're saying on the Riot Squad. It's almost like they're trying to turn them into the Jobber Squad. I don't get it, but we'll see where they go in the future. But outside of that, there just wasn't any meat to this match. It was
forced.
It was filler. Yeah, it was kind of just a filler for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I'll give it a 2.5.
And it seems like, they're going to probably throw her in more tag matches, 6-man or 6-woman tag matches, probably so she don't defend the title as much. Because anyone she's going up against, she's destroyed. And not like it really, but as a work. I don't see how anyone's going to take her down. The only excitement is, as far as Solo, is who's going to be the woman that's going to take that title off her. And wouldn't her credibility and her stock rise the moment she does it? Depending how it happens, of course. But I'm waiting to see who actually does that. All right, so how would you rate it?
2.5. Not anything more than that. That's peak right there.
I gave it a 2, so we're kind of on the same. You gave it more than what I would have, but like I said, I did like the spot with the double armbar, but I felt like it hurt the credibility of the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan, they are incredible. Ruby, they're all good. But you're going up against Ronda Rousey, and also, you got to watch out for botch mode. Pre-mode. And I know, that's a joke, of course, people, okay? Because the argument that D-Shep and I had, but you know what? I kind of changed my opinion a little bit, but I guess we could go into that another day about that incident, because I listened to a certain podcast by Stone Cold Steve Austin that kind of really changed my opinion about that. But
we can get that trending on Twitter. EJ attacks Bree live on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I don't call her a C like some people did. Jesus Christ, I think that was a little too much. All right, so we go from. Okay tag match for Raw, but then we go over to where I like and D-Shep doesn't like. Actually, I'm sorry. D-Shep loves 205 Live shirt. That's in our merchandise section. You can go into our Twitch profile. We have the link. Just click the banner, and you can go and purchase your very own 205 or D-Shep loves 205 Live shirt. But here it is. Cedric Alexander defending his title against Buddy Murphy, the hometown guy. Coming in, trying to gain gold, try to capture some gold. And to me, and I know you may not agree, was match of the night. And it wasn't for the fact that it was the hometown guy and the people were really popping because he was the hometown guy. There was a lot of, even though it's high spots, but they told a great story in the match. It was the same one with Ricochet in the Dream. It was like anything you could do, I could do better, and they just did it in their own form of storytelling. Now, you're going to get upset, possibly. I'm giving this match a 4.8, and it's not because I'm a mark for 205 Live, but any match that kind of had that emotion besides the SmackDown Women's title match that night. So, what's your feelings on that?
Okay, you said 4.5. That's what you gave it?
4.8.
4.8. Okay. You know how I feel about 205 Live. I am not a fan of it whatsoever.
I know you don't like it.
My one criticism about 205 Live is it's not the type of matches I want to see over and over and over. I want it sprinkled in here and there. With that being said, this was the match of the night. These guys hit a home run, and they kept me on the edge of my seat the entire match, without a doubt. I give this one, for the first time ever, a 5.
Yo, someone please clip that and send that to us. Actually, let's see, 31 minutes in. I am so clipping that. I thought I would never hear that. I thought I would never hear it. I thought I would never see the day.
I didn't think it'd ever come out of my mouth.
No.
I'm actually praising 205 Live. Unbelievable.
Wow.
What has my life come to?
It was a great match. You have to admit that.
It was. It was a spectacular match. It's one of the best matches I've seen in years out of WWE.
And you know what? Yeah, it's sprinkled in. Yeah, I get what you're saying as far as the pay-per-view. But this match in no way should have been... Thank God it wasn't a pre-show. It was the actual show it was on. And look what they could do. And I guess that they proved that, like, hey, we could do it too. And we could kick some ass, and they did. Deficit Disorder, welcome. He joined us in chat on Twitch. By the way, if you're listening to this on podcast form on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, and oh my God, SoundCloud. I'm sorry, SoundCloud. We are live every Saturday night from 11 p.m. to whenever. Under Go Home Wrestling Show. Deficit Disorder says once in a botch, twice is an accident, 3 times in 1 week is a pattern. Yeah, we got into a lengthy debate about that. Of course, you could catch it, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where D-Shep and I went at it back and forth. There was a couple things I would defend her on, but there was a couple things I agree with D-Shep. But yeah, it got into it. There was a big debate about that incident alone. All right, so we go on from the Cruiserweight title after Buddy Murphy captures the gold to a 6-man tag, which pretty much dominated Raw in the past, 2 months? It's the same.
Well played, Get 'em Jones.
The thing that Griff doesn't know is about 4 people on 205 Live does the high flying style, but shoosh, don't tell him. Yeah. That's nice. Thank you, William. I saw that. Okay. So, the Shield for Ziggler, McIntyre, Strowman. You know how we feel about Ziggler, McIntyre, and 2 of the 3 members of the Shield. But, again, I have to say this, and I'm shocked I'm even saying this. If there was a match that was close to it, this was number 3 or 4 of the night, as far as the best matches of the night. You saw incredible chemistry between these 6 men. And you saw the ones that really shone the most, mostly, in my opinion, for what I saw, McIntyre. But then you see that they were trying to push the Reigns thing a little bit, as we've been seeing for how long now, but wasn't receptive. Well, there was not a good reception of that. It was, of course, still booing. But, you know, that for people that, haven't followed it, briefly, they brought the show back to get Roman over after beating Brock Lesnar for the Universal title back at SummerSlam. Since then, Braun Strowman went heel, joined Ziggler and McIntyre, and forming a 3-man alliance going against the Shield, and they've been going back and forth for the last couple months, and this is the first time, quote-unquote, that they've been all in together for a big 6-man tag. Of course, the show gets the victory, with dirty deeds from Dean Ambrose on the Ziggler. Now, you may disagree, but I'm curious to what you're going to say. How did you feel about that match?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it is what it is. It's what I expected. Again, the thing that impresses me is we've been so negative on Raw because of what it's been.
Yeah.
But the one thing they are doing right is they make sure McIntyre never looks weak. and they
You're
keep
right there.
building this character.
Yeah.
As for the match itself, like I said, it was what I expected. I expected a good match. We got way too much talent inside that ring for it not to be a good match. Roman Reigns did what he normally does, same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think the last month or so, we've really seen Roman kind of flip a switch and put it into another gear. I love Roman Reigns inside the ring. To be completely honest, I enjoy Roman inside the ring. It's him on the mic I can't stand. So with all that said, it was a good match. It wasn't a horrible match. It's somewhere in the middle of the road. I'll give it a 3.5 and give it a little closer to the good side.
Yeah, I'm with you. So with all the talent that's in that ring, and Reigns, yeah, you know what? I won't take away his ability. He is great, and as far as the character with his promos and all, yeah, it needs work. But you know what? We always said if you were to go heel, it might bring a whole different side out of him. We said this before too. If you're gonna go and make a switch, breaking away from the Shield in the past, or even if he was to go heel at this point, if that was to occur, change your theme, change your look, change your persona. He should have done that when he broke away from the Shield. He never did. He kept that same type of character. The only one that kept the freaking whole, gear from... He just modified it a little bit, of course, but he kind of kept it. He never changed it, and that's why... That may be one of the things that people just weren't accepting him as an individual. But McIntyre, you're right there. They're not hurting McIntyre. And we'll talk about it on Raw because they did a rematch on Raw, and which I didn't get why a lot of people were against that, really. I enjoyed it the first time. Actually, it was probably at the same level for the second one. And not bad for a match 3 days after going to Australia, flying 20 hours back there to Chicago, and doing it again. And still doing it on the same level, in my opinion. But, yeah, I get what you're going back to the McIntyre, they did a great job to protect him. Of course, they're protecting Reigns. Of course, they're protecting Strowman. Because, that they're going to possibly be in a feud for another couple months. That's evident. But, yeah, overall, very good match. What did you give it a rate? What was the rating you gave it?
3.5. Somewhere in the middle of the road, so I'll go a little bit better on the good side. Okay,
well, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I agree with you on that one. There's so many ways I could have been a 4, but to me, there were some things that took it away. Now, here's something I'm going to go with, and people are probably going to crucify me for this, but as far as the whole Braun Strowman, when I said 5 to 6, he wasn't part of the 5 to 6. I'm starting to see a lot of weaknesses, and again, that's so much for me to say, but you know what? Yeah, I do. I could at least say I had some experience in professional wrestling, and I know it's not WWE level, but stamina is the big issue. And yeah, you don't have to have the biggest moveset to, tell a story, but he's not even doing anything with the minimal moves that he's doing. He's doing just the same routine crap, running around the ring, running people over. There's a way you could do it and tell a story, but he's not even doing that. I guess I was just a mark and didn't see these flaws right away, but now that I'm seeing more and more with this kind of mindset, because it's what we do with the podcast, I'm starting to see these things that I wasn't seeing before.
Right. And here's my issue with Braun. I've said it since the beginning. It was a mistake making him go heel. But when you made him heel and he's still doing the exact same things inside the ring as what he was doing as a face, you're not getting the story altogether. It just doesn't make sense. And it's really exposed him not to be near as good as they had built him up as a face.
Yeah. Well, Deficit Disorder in chat said, what Giant rookie isn't great in the ring? Shocker. The Giant, when Big Show first came up, he was very athletic, very good at storytelling in WCW. At least what he could do without creative, like stepping all over him. But no, there were plenty of rookies that were kind of big. It's a different time. And he is right when he says that. They probably did a lot better covering up the flaws.
Right.
Yeah, but now it's starting to be exposed because if I'm noticing him, and I was like a mark, so I was enjoying his work, but then I wasn't seeing his flaws. And Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. Just talking, chat. Hold on.
Oh, we lose something? So anyways, so what did you guys think? What would y'all would rank that match? I know we both gave it 3.5s. I've got a funny feeling some of you are going to have a little bit lower ratings on this one. YouTuber William, you gave it the same. What about Braun Strowman with the heel character? Do you all agree with me? Do you think part of his moveset's kind of blowing up because of going heel versus the face side?
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
No problem.
Heard a loud thump, and my kid was sleeping in on the couch. I thought she fell off or something. And that was actually my wife. She stubbed her toe. All right. All right, sorry about that. All right, where were we? I apologize for that.
We were moving into the fun one. Triple H versus The Undertaker.
Well, we forgot one, bro.
Did we?
Yeah, we forgot the 2-minute match. Let's get into this, because I'm not too happy about this one. All right,
I'll let you start. I got to check on something real quick anyway. So.
Oh, there you go. It works. Okay, we're going to go into it real quick. Daniel Bryan and Miz. Of course, you know, let's give the brief background of how that started. Started a segment on Talking Smack years ago where Miz goes off on Bryan after Bryan called him soft. Of course, that's set up because, you know, Daniel Bryan got cleared. You knew they were going to throw him in the program. It was just a matter of when and how they were going to do it. They finally got a chance to face off at SummerSlam. Miz came out on top with the Fury Punch. No brass knucks needed. Then they had, in Hell in a Cell, Miz and Maurice going against Brie and Daniel Bryan. And in the mixed tag match, of course, Miz and Maurice got the victory. So that was 2 up. So here it is, the final battle. Miz TV, 2 weeks prior to Super Showdown, Miz on the show said that, well, pretty much announced to the universe that whoever won the match at Super Showdown was going to get a WWE Championship opportunity. Great build, and here we are. We're in Australia. Miz, Bryan, 2 great wrestlers. 2-minute match. Bad roll-up, in my opinion. It was kind of awkward on the Miz, and gets the victory a couple minutes in. And Bryan's going to be facing AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. What the fuck, Griff? Again, I want to try to control the language, but geez.
What a way to build it up, right?
Yeah. Deficit disorder. They said, I heard the finish was changed for time constraints. Yeah. Yeah. No, it kind of was, but they could have done it better. They could have done it completely better.
The whole reason they went to the network is they don't have time constraints on them that way.
You also got arenas that you got to worry about, too. Because Chicago's like New York, where you got the union. They're really heavily, so there's got to be a certain time, so they give them time to take everything down, blah, blah, blah. A lot of dumb political crap, but nonetheless, yeah. That's why they have the network, but they also have to abide by the, union rules. You know.
That's right. Australia TV. That's right.
But arena agreements. That's why they don't go to MSG for pay-per-views, just because of that very reason. But Australia TV. You're also right there. But again, they could have done it so much better.
You want me to go into this one first, because I know you're going to have a little bit of a tangent about this one.
Oh man, I'm so pissed. Yeah, go ahead.
Huge letdown.
Yeah, it was. I'm with you on that.
Letdown. I was so excited for this match. It's been building for, God, how many years? We're finally going to get
2.
to hopefully have a real finish to this match. A clean finish.
Yeah.
With a good winner. And going into the night, I knew that either this match or AJ Styles and Samoa Joe was going to take the cake. Wrong on both accounts. But seriously, what? 2 minutes? I was expecting something huge, and if they are up against time constraints, fine. Cut it somewhere else. This was your biggest storyline going into tonight or into the show. So why they did it, I still don't get it. But man, what a missed opportunity. One of the biggest misses they've had in a long, long time. I'll let you go off.
Okay. And after this, yes, I agree with you, William. I think it's time for a break after that. A shanty break. But before we get to that, I am with you on that. Dude, it started with that Talking Smack segment. You had this build. And if there was an opportunity to get people back on the Daniel Bryan side, you would have had The Miz find a way that beat him again, giving him the self-doubt, meaning Daniel Bryan, going into the Royal Rumble season where he could redeem himself, get that confidence back, get the people on his side. Talk about missed opportunities. You screwed it up because you just gave him a high only to be knocked right back down. And if that was your way you're going to do it, I think it would have been better if you would have had The Miz beat him again. Instead of a face beating him, you had the heel beat him for the third time, giving him self-doubt. That's where they screwed up there. The finish, even if you were going to give it to Daniel Bryan, really, that's all? You were giving him 2 fucking minutes? 2? And again, I've seen Triple H and Undertaker, okay? I've seen WrestleMania X7 live, okay? I've seen the numerous matches they've had. It wasn't anything special. To push that to a 2-minute match, they really screwed it up. They screwed up a storyline, which probably, even if they were to go to WrestleMania, if they were somehow, some way pull this off where they go at it for the title at WrestleMania, I can't say it. I can't see anyone being invested because you screwed it up with a 2-minute match. And it seems like it might be like, oh, you're just looking to be angry about it. No, this is, everyone was invested, and you ruin it with that 2-minute match so you could get your legends out there, which the ones that, are actually fucking wrestling on a roster now, you're supposed to put over more. But instead, you want to try to sell all these seats because you don't want to push your current guys. You put old fogies in there. And no, I know Triple H is still in good condition. Undertaker, not so much. But you rely on your legends. So you cut your current guys to 2 minutes, and you wonder why they're having a hard time getting over or getting heat and this and that. It's because of things like that. If you're going to cut your current guys short for legends, dude, I fear for the future of the WWE, okay? Because eventually, because the health of the business outside of WWE is strong. It's healthy. Cody Rhodes proved that. Okay? And yes, I'm shocked Daniel Bryan didn't go. I'm shocked that Punishment Martinez came to WWE knowing how it is in there. But I guess a guy that's 36 that just started wrestling 2 years ago, maybe that was a dream of his. Good for him. But a lot of the guys, I'll tell you, may not go to WWE because of this. It's things like this that can assassinate your character, assassinate your credibility, your stock. To me, I think it hurt The Miz quite a bit. I don't know about you. You may feel differently. I think it did. 2 minutes on a bad roll-up. But again, I think the recovery might have been okay on SmackDown. And we'll get into that when we cover SmackDown. But overall, I just didn't like the fact that they pushed them to 2 minutes for Legends. Okay, if you can excuse me for a moment. Hold on. Shawnee.
You know what's crazy about the whole deal there?
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Ginger was helping me. What's that?
Your tangent went longer than the match did. That's how pathetic that match was, and I'll leave it at that.
It's because I'm pretty good at going, off the road with shit. Anyways, all right. So we go on to the main event. Triple H Undertaker, something we saw plenty of times. But yeah, there was something special with this because it was the last time. And as a guy that was a fan of the Attitude Era, I guess the new generation where they were still around that in the mid-90s. to me, yeah, there was nostalgia there. But overall, the match to me didn't live up to the expectations. Again, this is why I'm fearing that with Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement to do the tag match. It's like, what were you expecting out of these two? They tried to do the best they could. Okay, for what they have, as far as age, Undertaker, not as quick as he used to be. The guy is 59, I think. He's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The guy, he's not young anymore. Triple H being 47, I believe. I mean, he could still move, and I'll give it to him. But overall, it was two guys beating the crap out of each other, way beyond the prime. And you know what? Just as I said that, Deficit said two guys past their prime. Yeah, that's it. That's all it was. It was nostalgia. People wanted to see it for one last time. And it was a nice kind of build, but didn't live up to its expectations. And that's what I'm afraid of with the tag team match coming up. Me? Ready? 1.5 for the main event. What do you have on it?
Oh, I'm going to go hand in hand with a lot of this stuff. As I've stated many times, anytime I see these guys in the ring, it just takes me back to a better place in wrestling.
Yeah.
And I get goosebumps every time I see 3 of the 4 in or around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, the match is what it is. I mean, it's not like these two, outside of their 2 latest WrestleMania matches, ever did anything special together. It was always Shawn and Undertaker that put on the show of shows. But you could definitely see the age factor in this one. There were botches. It was slow moving at parts. Just generally not the way you wanted to end this. This should have been a match or 2 before the main event and should have been cut down to add to our previous match. But I'll go a step higher just from the I want to see it factor. I'll give it a 2.5.
All right. Well, yeah, we don't agree on that one. That's for sure. 2 for nostalgia bonus, but I feel that's generous. Yeah, you are being generous, Deficit. Again, it was all nostalgia. It wasn't much to it. Okay, now that we're done covering it, and actually, I forgot. I saw it in chat. Bellas. Fucking cut the Bellas to 2 minutes. That Riot Squad didn't have credibility anyway. Well, the Eagles still built some stock or credibility to the Riot Squad, but they're kind of ruining that on a weekly basis. All right, so going into the conclusion of covering Super Showdown, what match do you feel stole the show? And obviously, I guess we're all going to agree which one was the worst match of the night. Go ahead.
Best match, by far, the only one I gave a 5, goes to the 205 Live boys. Worst of the... I struggle with this, but I'm going to have to... God, I hate saying this. The Miz and Daniel Bryan, just from the sheer miss the WWE pulled off.
And my friend, I totally agree with you. 205 Live match of the night. D-Shep, I am so clipping this and sending this to you on Twitter just to, I want to hear him go, you son of a bitch. I know he would. All right. But
he's going to go after me for that one.
I'm sure he will.
His side.
Yeah, he's going to be like, you son of a bitch, you betrayed me. But I'm with you as far as The Miz and Bryan. They missed a huge opportunity to build on something. I think they might have killed the freaking feud with that horrible 2-minute match. Is there a way of recovering from it? I guess we'll find out. But we'll get into that when we cover SmackDown. Anyways, let's go right into it. We're done with Super Showdown. Let's go right into Raw. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it's only It was only 24 hours since the Super Showdown, and here we are, Chicago. They had Raw, and right away they start with it was JR and the King were talking about I'm sorry, we're talking about 2018. Here we are. Right away, Shawn Michaels, HBK, they come out to the ring. Yes, this is 2018. It was HBK and Triple H.
Wait, so you're telling me Roman Reigns didn't start a Monday Night Raw?
You know what? I didn't even notice that until you just said that. No, they didn't.
I'm
no,
in shock.
Well, because, because they're going for the legends. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyways, so he started talk about how they spent 25 years to climb. He spent 25 years to climb to the top of the mountain, and that top of the mountain was to beat The Undertaker, something that he wasn't able to do. Finally, he had the chance when HBK sweet chin music him twice, gave him sweet chin music twice, chair shot, sledgehammer, the whole kit and caboodle. And next thing you know, we're getting raided. Thank you, Nighthawks, for the raid, buddy. Hello, everyone, famous Ken Mercer, everyone that popped in on Twitch. Thank you so much. Carlos Corvo, welcome.
Hey, Nighthawks, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, buddy.
Greatly appreciated.
Yep, wise dot. No, Jesus. Hey, welcome. Well, we're currently discussing Raw. We just got over Super Showdown. Here we are on Raw. And now Triple H said he went to the top of the mountain. And now he has climbed the mountain. But he feels, because of what happened at the end of the match, after he showed respect and was then attacked, that the mountain being on the top wasn't so cracked up as he thought it was. And he was angry about the attack. And so was HBK. And then they go into challenging Kane and The Undertaker to a match at a show we don't even think is going to happen at this point. We don't even know. And we could get into that later on. But Crown Jewel was where they challenged them to a match. Okay. What are your thoughts on Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement for a tag team match?
I love it because I want to see Shawn back in the ring. He's hands down to me the greatest of all time, period.
He is. He's my idol. So, yes, I agree with you with that.
The problem is we've seen what Kane and The Undertaker can do inside the ring at their age now. It's not good.
No, it isn't.
So if I could maybe have a breakup of Triple H and Shawn, have them go at it again, maybe then I'm more into this retirement or coming out of retirement deal. But for the match that he's coming out of retirement to do, I'm not sold on it. I'm still going to tune in because, like I said, it takes me back to better time in wrestling. I want to see Shawn in the ring. Outside of that, I don't expect much out of this at all.
Yeah, you're right, Deficit. He is still in love with the business, but you ready? And I know I'm going to get shit for this. He is an idol of mine. This is a guy I looked up to as when I was dreaming of being a professional wrestler. I idolized him even when he was a heel, when he first turned on that pissant Marty Jannetty in the barbershop when he threw him through the... Well, actually, I'm sorry. Marty Jannetty tried to escape him because he was getting beat so bad. Okay, so let's clear that. He wasn't thrown. He tried to escape. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see it because you're not going to get the showstopper. You're not going to get Mr. WrestleMania. I don't want to see what was arguably the two best matches I ever seen. Not only from him, not only for WrestleMania, possibly the best matches I've ever seen that he had with The Undertaker, those two WrestleManias. You're not going to get that style quality matches, and I don't want that tarnished with what we're possibly going to see, what you saw with Triple H and The Undertaker. You guys can disagree. I'm not for it. I'm not. I don't want to see his legacy get tarnished that way. And it will. Because I don't see 8.5 years being away from the ring. I can't see him doing anything close to what he did. And obviously you have something to say. Again, it's a debate. We could agree or disagree. Go ahead.
Yeah, and right there, B. Ferris said, thanks for the raid.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you.
Nighthawks.
Thank you so much,
man. I am going to disagree in a sense.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. 8.5 years he's been away from the ring. He's going to be rough. How long was he out of the ring?
The first time?
When he made his return.
4 years. 98 to 02.
He looked pretty good coming back then.
Yeah, that was 4 years, and he was also 34.
He ain't that old now. He's what, 46, 47, something like that?
52.
Well, he's older than I thought. But if anybody can come in and once again be the showstopper at that kind of age, this is the guy that can do it. And he's also the guy that has proven in the past when Undertaker's skills were diminishing, he could make The Undertaker look better than what he is now. So if anybody can make this a believable match, it's going to be Shawn.
I hope so.
With all that said, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't expect much, but man, do I hope we're wrong about this. I want this to be phenomenal. I want to see the showstopper. I want to see Mr. WrestleMania
definitely
show out again. One more run.
I would love to see that, but the moment that last match, and believe it or not, I even got emotional watching that one in 2010. And this was during the time, I was already kind of like upset, and I tapped out of wrestling for a little bit, but I was still watching that. I could not. I heard this was going to be his last match. I had to watch it. I got emotional. It's like watching an idol give up something he loved. And again, even though he did his thing for a little bit, now he's a part of the company again with the NXT, doing his thing down in Florida. But this isn't taking 4 years off from a back injury, 30 years old, still in his prime. It's 52 years old, 8.5 years removed. And he was still suffering from his back problems, even during his run after coming back in 2002. It would be a different type of emotion, because watching what he did in the past and now, it's like, why? I would be upset seeing it go that way. And it's as a fan, and I know it may not make sense to some people, but to me, it's like, I saw how he was. I just don't want to see him, less than that. And obviously, you're going to over time. But going into 44 years old in 2010, look at the two best matches he had in his career. We're at 43 years old and 44 years old. But I know it's not going to... Being 52, you're not going to see that same Shawn Michaels. But again, that's probably why they're having tag matches instead of a singles. But someone in chat said it's going to lead to a WrestleMania match. Who would you, if that was, real quick, who would you want it to be, though? If it was going to be that guy, would it be Undertaker? Because it seems like they were going down that route.
No. Give me, if things pan out like I think they might end up panning out, I think we're both on board that we might end up seeing Bryan versus Miz in the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or not the main event, but going for the title.
Yeah.
Give me AJ against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, because if anybody can make Shawn the showstopper and Mr. WrestleMania one more time, that's the guy that can do it.
Ooh.
That would be lights out, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches in history, if even at Shawn's age.
You might have me sold on that. I have another one. The guy that's currently 47 years old as well. But as far as physicality and all, he seems like the way he was back when he was 20. I always wanted a dream match of HBK and The Rock. You talk about The Rock coming back so he get his daughter in, her foot in the door with the company, and he wants to do a short return to make that happen and be there for the transition for her. I would love to see that. If I had to, again, at the end, I don't want to, but again, because I'm a fan. But if I were to see that, I would like to either see AJ or The Rock, but mostly The Rock. That was something I wish I could have saw years ago and was robbed of that, because neither one of them wanted to work together. But I'm sure, because both of them have changed in their personality. They're much happier men. I'm sure they would work together now, but back in the day, wasn't happening. But go ahead. Yeah, obviously, you had some there.
If you go that route, is The Rock the type of guy that is going to make Shawn Mr. WrestleMania? They're not going to have that kind of match. To me, it's got to be somebody that is going to put Shawn over the top and can sell the match.
AJ.
It's got to be AJ or
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan's a good one. Or maybe this is a spot where Chris Jericho does make a return.
I don't think so. I think he's going to be with the New Japan show.
I think he's going to be gone permanently from WWE.
And I can't blame him for that. Be fair to say, I think WrestleMania was a Shield triple threat match for Universal Championship. Yeah, I'm going to get into that because we're going to talk about, what happened the week prior I'm still in belief that Roman's going to turn. It's not going to be McIntyre. I don't know why. It's just the reaction for what. And I mean, you know what? We talked about that last week. We'll get into that later. Now, we have our thoughts about using legends on the show. It just. I just don't agree with what they're doing. They're not promoting the current guys. They keep going with the legends. They keep going with the legends. They give them freedom, but then you hold back guys from developing their character, whether they're face or heel. I mean, do you agree with that? I mean, and we'll move along. I mean, are you getting sick of them using their legends instead of using their current guys? Because they got a lot. They got a huge roster and a depth. They have depth in that roster to do whatever they can with. Go ahead.
Absolutely, and here's my problem with it. I love it if we're sprinkling it in here and there.
Yeah.
But when we're doing it every single week, and in the meantime, we've got guys that are on live support in the names of Finn Balor and Elias.
Yeah.
We've got to scale this back. Give these guys an opportunity. Elias has shown us flashes that he is worth getting some kind of push. But he's taking a back seat to everything because we're pushing Triple H. We're pushing The Undertaker. We've seen it in the past with The Rock, Brock Lesnar, these type of guys. Mm-hmm. Give me some of this younger talent. Like you said earlier, WWE if we don't start pushing some of these younger guys.
Yeah, it's going to hurt them, and it's also going to hurt them as like bringing in talent because you got 4 guys that are becoming free agents from November to January, and that's the Young Bucks. That's
the
Kenny.
Timing by B. Ferris is priceless.
What's that?
Exactly what I was talking about with Balor and Elias. He was typing in the chat room, same thing.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you're not the only one that is thinking that. Hey, good for you. All right, so going along, because we already expressed our opinion about like the legends and how they're not utilizing the talent enough. Well, let's go into a thing that we've been wanting for a long period of time, and it's finally happened. Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens. Singles match. Leo Rush, of course, had the mic for the match. Bobby Lashley had control of a huge portion of the match, really destroying Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens fought back, but nonetheless, it wasn't enough as Bobby got the win. And then, of course, after the match, he attacked Kevin Owens and attacked his knees, and we found out why they went with that as far as that big attack, because you find out that Kevin Owens is going to be out close to 8 months now. And it's kind of weird that he had knee problems, and then you're going to use a spot where you slam his knee against the post, regardless of how you could work it and not make it look like it hurts. It's still going to hurt, but man, the thing that we've been wanting for a while, he's a heel. What are your thoughts?
Sitting here, I'm looking at my sheet and some of the notes I wrote down from watching Raw again. What I wrote down was finally. we finally have a legit heel to push towards the top. This has been the problem. This is why they flipped Braun Strowman. Is there is no legit heels right now on Raw to push towards that world title scene. Yep. All you had was Kevin Owens, which you were for some reason keeping in the mid card area.
Yep.
And outside of that, no real heels because obviously they weren't ready to pull the trigger on McIntyre yet. So you had to find somebody. We had talked that it was either going to be Lashley or we were going to see the flip by Ambrose. Something had to give, and finally they made the move, and they're, to me, doing it the right way, having Leo Rush be the mouthpiece. Congratulations, Raw writers. You finally got something right.
Exactly. And you know what? Given by his work in Impact, I mean, I saw his work, and he did an incredible job as a heel over there in Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. And we said this early on, 3-4 months ago when he had that big match with Roman Reigns. We were like, when is this going to happen? He's in limbo after that match. Creative limbo. And like he wasn't going anywhere. He was doing that stupid bit with Jinder Mahal. It's like, when are you going to turn this guy? He would be gold as a heel. And they finally did it. And had in a guy that is originally a heel on 205 Live, Leo Rush, to be his mouthpiece, even better. And I love the fact he's so annoying. You want to smack him around, but no, it's still funny. Like the first time when Kevin Owens chased him, I was playing Benny Hill music in my head as I'm watching that because it was so funny. But here's the thing I thought about. Obviously, they're going to have a second guy in on this. But I see once finally Kevin Owens comes back, and it'll probably be around the time Sami Zayn may be back at that time. The two guys that Lashley took out, they go up against him again. They team up. Obviously, there might be a second. They're going to have to be a guy teaming with Lashley. But that would be a feud I'm looking forward to because that was the two guys he took out. And I can't wait to see creatively what they're going to do with him as a heel. And I'm excited. And I'm always a heel guy. For people that don't know, I'm the heel guy. I love the heels. I was a Shawn Michaels guy when he was a heel. Plenty Stone Cold when he was a heel. The Rock when he was a heel. The corporate champion. I've always loved because you see more out of you get more of their personality as a heel than as a face. I've always saw it that way. Do you have anything more to add to the Lashley turn?
Well, just adding on to what you're talking about with KO and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
If they would have done what we were demanding for several months ago and flipped him, how great would it have been to have those three running as heels instead of seeing Strowman and McIntyre and Ziggler going up against the Shield? We would have had Lashley, KO, and Sami Zayn all on the same page going after the Shield. Would have changed things completely, and I think it would have been a fantastic storyline there.
But here's the thing. One thing I would say that I didn't mention about his turn when he was a heel over at Impact Wrestling, that he did incredible mic work. But they don't have that kind of freedom over in the WWE, at least on the main roster.
Right.
But, and Ferris, we've said that too. The greatest heel in the last 5 years is Miz. Well, there's one guy that hates Miz.
I'm a mark for the Miz. I love him.
Who's the guy that hates the Miz?
Electrofly.
Yeah, Electrofly hates the Miz. I'm a Miz guy too, and I was a Miz guy when I found out he was champion because I saw it back in 2008. I was like, this guy, there's something there with this guy. The work he was doing with John Morrison, it was incredible, and they really sparked the tag team division at the time. And I saw him; there was going to be a lot of success for him as a singles guy. So I totally agree with you, B. Ferris. He is the greatest heel in the last 5 years, but he's going to have competition now when you got a guy that, like Lashley, that is capable to do incredible work as a heel. I can't wait to see what they're going to do on Raw. Do you have anything else before we move it along?
Ken Mercer right there. I see him in a chat.
And yeah.
Just for anybody out there, make sure you go over there and follow Ken Mercer. He puts on great streams as well.
Well, we already follow here under the Go Wrestling Show. IWA Blaze, welcome, my friend. Welcome.
Ah.
All right, so we're going to move along to a great heel turn to, dude, a plethora of international talent, the global Battle Royale, with the chance to qualify for the WWE World Cup. Baron Corbin was amongst the talent that was in the ring from around the world, and then we even got the Conquistador. Who would have thought? I don't know if it was uno or dos. I was confused which one it actually was. But again, Corbin and the rest were any wrestlers dressed up as international wrestlers. That's what it really was. The Conquistador chilled outside of the ring, and I had it filmed by the body shape of who it was. But of course, Corbin quickly eliminated the best competition from around the world, and they were incredible talent. You saw it. I was shocked Corbin did it without breaking a sweat. But finally, the Conquistador came in when Corbin thought he won and eliminated Corbin. And then as he's on the floor staring up, and he takes the mask off, and it's Kurt Angle. Are you surprised that they're going with him, with his return? Again, another legend on this event and not like a Survivor Series or Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. What's your feelings on that?
To me, it's the right thing to go with. You're building to something coming into Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome, ZZ Fearless.
What's up, Fearless?
So you kind of want to build him up a little bit and get the ring rust off, so we can actually see the old Kurt Angle. I hope, again, in quotations. Hopefully, he's got the ring rust off and come Survivor Series, because we all know that's the direction we're headed. That he puts on a great show that way.
They already burned his. Oh yeah, I did forget about the Shield thing. Yeah, they did burn his return last year, but that was out of desperation because of the illness that happened, that he plagued the locker room during that time. But if you were going to bring him back, I think it would have been better for like a WrestleMania or a Royal Rumble or even Survivor Series. But again, whatever the Prince wants, he gets. And if he's throwing money at McMahon to be like, I want to see this guy in the show, McMahon's going to be like, okay, here, stick the money up my ass. And I'll make sure he wrestles that show. Again, I'm trying to keep it PG. I'm sorry. And again, we'll get into about the crown jewel anyway, because there's a lot that has came since then. A lot of things have happened, and I've been all over social media trying to keep up with what's going on with that. But nonetheless, what'd you think of? Oh, I'm sorry. We already covered that. My apologies. What are your thoughts on the quote-unquote WWE World Cup?
I'm going to get a lot of blowback for this one, but I love it.
Why? It's not even a World Cup. It's the U.S. Veterans Cup.
It kind of is. We don't know all the participants yet, because at some point, Baron Corbin is also going to be in this. He's going to appoint himself or something. But I actually like this because what it's reminding me of is we're getting King of the Ring back, and that's what made me so excited. We're getting a tournament, and it's almost like I've got King of the Ring coming back to pay-per-view, and hopefully it's something they can build off for years and years to come.
Yeah, and you know what? Fearless did say this, and that's what I was going to get with, is that you should have one superstar from each background. You got Shinsuke Nakamura. You got Japan. You got Andrade Cien Almas. That's my boy. I enjoy his work. Representing Mexico. You could have had, or if Kevin Owens was around still, you could have had him represent Canada. I mean, there was so many. You got your France, you got all these people you could have had covered. But again, not only is that it's all U.S. guys. Remember, it's Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, John Cena. Who am I missing? Randy Orton. I can say Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, John Cena. And Kurt Angle. So that's the four you got right now. They're all American. How are you going to call the World Cup and it's nothing but Americans? Drew McIntyre, Scottish. 100%. That was the only thing I don't like. But I do agree with you. It's like the King of the Ring all over again. Trust me. I was there in 1995 when King Mabel won. Men on a Mission, if you guys don't know that. Google that guy. It was the guy that was eventually became Viscera. But he was Mabel.
That was such a good pay-per-view, too. Man, that was one of the best King of the Rings.
And I got to be there for that one. I was so happy at the Philadelphia Spectrum in June of 1995. And, of course, Mabel won that one. I was surprised it was him, though. He wasn't the favorite to win. Razor was the favorite to win, but it didn't happen. Aleister Black, Jinder, Rusev, Drew, Ray with his debut. I'm sure he's probably going to get in as the Mexico representative because you got him and what is it, Shinsuke? Him and Shinsuke going at it next week?
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for actually because seeing how Rey Mysterio, seeing how Rey Mysterio is right now, at his age, man, is he still good? He has drank out of the fountain of youth because he hasn't showed signs of slowing down at all. And a match against him, meaning Shinsuke Nakamura, I can't wait for that. Rey Nakamura, definitely. It's going to be awesome. Dude,
it could be
smackdown.
Something that lights Shinsuke's fire again in the WWE, too. Because he's in desperate need of something to happen.
Yeah, no, his reign as U.S. champion has been pretty much shit at this point. At least we could agree on that one. What has he done since he was won the title? He gave Jeff Hardy his rematch, and that was pretty much it. But you got to say, Fearless has something for you. All right, so Do we have anything else to cover before we move on to the rematch between the Shield and the Dogs of War, is how they say it?
Yep, I'm good on all that.
All right, let's move along. The Shield against Ziggler, McIntyre, and Strowman. Of course, this is only not even 48 hours removed from the first matchup. They had a Super Showdown, which was a good match. Then you go into this one on Raw. I have to tell you, I was entertained by this match. It was just as good as the one at Super Showdown. Again, it shows their incredible chemistry between the 6 men, despite the fact of the flaws of Braun Strowman. But you've seen house show rematch hour. And hold on, this is what I'll say with that, because I saw that criticism, and this was one of the questions I had on the rundown. We might as well just address it right now. How did you feel about them having a rematch? How did you feel about the match, and then double up with this one? How do you feel that they used that match again as like a rematch?
I've got a feeling we're going to be in the same boat on this one.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of the blowback on this.
Yeah.
For all those people throwing a fit about it, is this the first time y'all started watching WWE? This happens over and over again. Every WrestleMania, we'll see a match on WrestleMania. The following Raw, you see the same match again. Multiple times. This is typical WWE. I've got no problem whatsoever with that happening. And I actually enjoyed the fact that they redid it, and definitely the guys, to me, actually put on a better show during Raw than they did at Super Showdown.
Yeah, so we agree with that. Yeah, that was the thing. It's like, how are you going to jump on guys, especially the people involved in the creative and all? You think they weren't in Australia? Yeah, they're there. Making sure, doing the creative for that match, for that show, going along with the 20-hour flight. I would love for people to live that kind of lifestyle for one day, and they realize okay, but they had 20 hours to figure it out. It's okay, but what was so bad at having a rematch? Because they wanted their shot again at the Shield. I mean, there was a way you could have worked it, and they did. And the one thing that picked out is that they were jumping on Ziggler this time. Mm-hmm. Strowman yelled at him throughout the course of the match because Ziggler was stopping, taunt whoever it is, whether it was Ambrose or Reigns, and they will fire back at him. And he was being called out on it. So you saw something there. There was something different with this one that a lot of people didn't see, obviously, if they're going to be complaining on social media. Again, to me, it was a great match on the same level as the Super Showdown, and that just shows the incredible chemistry these 6 men have. And I tell you right now, there might be another one in the works. I don't see, of course, at Crown Jewel, you're going to have the triple threat for the Universal Championship, but I'm sure maybe something in Survivor Series or maybe something in the December pay-per-view. You're probably going to see something with them again. And then one more thing I'll ask you real quick, though. Are you still on board with the Ambrose heel turn?
Oh, this is tough. First of all, USA Dice Man. It's going good. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for following.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Yes, I'm still on board with this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of Lashley becoming that heel that we were looking for kind of deters me a little bit. It might delay flipping Ambrose. I know there's rumors that it could happen as soon as SmackDown 1000. I don't buy into that at all. I think it's going to be later down the road, but I still see it being Ambrose. I really think Ambrose is going to be the guy to turn, and then it's going to steamroll from there, building into, like B. Ferris said earlier, triple threat at WrestleMania.
I guess we'll find out where they're going to go with that. Again, I feel, and yeah, you got your heels, but you know what? They got a huge face depth on Raw. And I know it's unpopular opinion, but give everybody reactions what Ambrose said the week prior. Ambrose said, it was funny, I could be IC champion. Rollins was hurt by that. You could tell he was bothered by that. And it wasn't like a negative reaction. When he said the same thing about the Universal title with Roman Reigns, it was a different reaction. And it was that negative heel reaction is what I saw. Again, if you rewatch that, I may be crazy, but that's the vibes I got from that. And I guess the only way we'll find out is whenever they decide to make this move, and we'll find out who it is. I was shocked when they turned Strowman, but I would definitely be shocked, even though I feel it might be, but I would definitely be shocked if they actually go with it and pull the heel turn for him.
But just an outside idea.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go this route, but something I think would be fun.
What's that?
We don't see it too often. I'd like to see a double person heel turn. What if Dean and Roman both go heel, attack Seth Rollins in the same style that Rollins flipped on them, go the same exact route, flip both of them, and now you get double heel side Roman and Dean, and it's going to push Seth as a face to the moon too. I think that would be a spectacular storyline to go with.
And yeah, and people could be like, "Oh, that's too many heels. Too many heels." No, they got a lot of depth that they can turn faces.
Absolutely.
They got enough people that could be faces. It's just, again, you got a couple guys that are out on injury, but when they come back, I'm sure they'll be on that roster as well. But
and
yeah,
it definitely
actually,
gives
that's
you an option to elevate Balor and give him some credibility too.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be huge right there.
And despite the fact that I like the how Bobby Roode was a heel, but he could probably do something as a face too, and we'll have something for him. I actually like that. That would be cool because it's like, oh, we got you back for what you did to us years prior. You turned on us so you could get the title push that you always wanted. We always had your back, but you felt you had to betray us to get there. I do like that. That's it, and it'd be something different. And honestly, I would if it was to have Ambrose to go along with him with that turn, I'd be so on board because you got Roman as a heel. He's got to reinvent himself, and just like The Rock did, and Triple H, Stone Cold, they all done that. They came out as heels, became faces, and they elevated. You could see that with him. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
And here's the thing about if they both switch, we're not just flopping Roman to go over. We know Roman is not that great on the mic.
Yeah.
He's getting better. There's no doubts about that. He's proven, or like I said, the last month or so, he's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got Dean to flip with him, now you do have that mouthpiece to help him do the full-on switch. I think that would actually be the best route to go. And like I was saying, it'd give a chance for Balor to move up the ranks. B. Ferris just put it in chat. They could do a lot with Balor and Ambrose, and I completely agree. There is so much those two could do. They could literally tear down a house at any pay-per-view.
Yeah, because Ambrose, since he has came back, man, whole different mindset. The way his moveset and everything is different, and I like that. The new look, everything is good. And again, something that him and Rollins have done, they developed their own personas. Who's the guy that hasn't and should go for a change? And again, people are going to boo him no matter what. How about have some legitimate boos then? And watch him develop as a character. And his development on the mic as a heel. Because there was a lot of people that struggled, like The Rock. And again, I'm going with these examples, but they're legitimate examples. These are all these guys that had their issues, whether it's character, mic skills, all together. They become a heel, they develop, their character, and they came out of it, and look where they went from there. That again, I like your angle with that though, with Ambrose. If you're going to make him heel, if Ambrose has to go on with him, so be it. I would so be on board with that. All right. Do you have anything else before we go on to the conclusion of Raw?
Nope. That covers my side.
Okay. Now let's go right into it. Where we the conclusion of Raw, we rated from 1 to 5 how we felt Raw was for this week. So we'll start off with you. How did you feel from 1 to 5 Raw was this past week?
Typically, when it comes to Raw, I'm somewhere in the 2 category.
Yeah, so am I.
Because they do so bad. But again, for 2 weeks in a row, I'm highly impressed with them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go off the charts or anything, but at 3.5, this was a solid show to follow up Super Showdown. I truly enjoyed the show.
So what'd you give it?
3.5.
A 3.5, okay.
Missed opportunities, but it was a good show.
I I would say, and it seems weird because it seems like, oh, I'm just agreeing with you. No, I'm actually going to agree with you on this one too. And you ready for something? What's up, Timmy Big Guns? You ready for something? It was better than SmackDown. I felt, and we'll get into that. I felt Raw beat SmackDown this week, and I gave that a 3.5. So there you go. You'll get my feelings on SmackDown as we cover that. So nonetheless, now that we're done with Raw, let's go into SmackDown, shall we?
Now that we're done with Raw, it is time for
there we go.
SmackDown.
And here we go.
Week in
A really good show with Raw and SmackDown. Right away, they start with the rematch from 72 hours before Charlotte, Becky, SmackDown Women's title. This time, the stipulation that was added that if Becky Lynch was to get disqualified in any way, she would lose the title to Charlotte. And I'll tell you right now, despite there was a couple hiccups in the match, but nonetheless, it was an incredible match, incredible follow-up match. And I know people are not a fan of the double countout, but if you're going to extend a storyline without hurting either person, that's the way you go. Again, I did like how they tried to on Super Showdown to get heat on Becky and not get a clean finish like she did to win the title, but they, of course, went the double countout. Do you think they went a little cheap, or did you think they did a good job on trying to extend the storyline? And what did you think of the match?
They had to do something to extend the storyline. I really thought it'd be some kind of DQ on Becky's side again, but I do believe they fed into the backlash they got from the night prior, or 2 nights prior, and that's why they went with double count out. I'm not opposed to it. It is what it is. It's not a clean finish. We knew that wasn't going to happen. They're going to keep building this for a little bit. Outside of that, it was a good match. Definitely one of the botches I noticed is when Charlotte was trying to slingshot Becky into the corner. Man, Becky was just so dead-legged in that.
Yeah.
It really hurt the spot. But outside of that, these two have such a chemistry and do so good in this match. I enjoyed it, and it made me excited for the rest of the show that we started off that hot and that good.
Okay. Now, this is a question, and we talked about this the other day, and you said you were going to disagree with me on this. Should have this been the main event?
No.
Okay. Why is that? I want to know, though, just out of curiosity.
And we're going to get into some of this later on in the show.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of this is letdowns later on, but this was a great way to start the show. I hate it when we go into a show and we just have dead zones, dead matches, or whatever it is. This was a hot way to start this show.
So they
could have rearranged something else later on, but I enjoyed this.
Okay, sorry to cut you off there. I didn't mean to do that. Given that, if they would have had a strong main event, I would agree with you on that. But if they knew that they didn't have, they really thought the Big Show and Randy Orton was going to carry that main event and have it be really good, especially for the first official match for the Big Show coming back from that injury. And I must say, he looked pretty good, looked pretty good physically. As far as the match, yeah, you saw the ring rust, man. You definitely did, but I felt it should have been main event. If you knew what you had, I would have thrown the Cien Almas match. There's something else there. I mean, that was just an example. If I really had to think about it, I probably could have come up with something to start off the show that could have been just as lit as that match, and then finish it off with the women's title match. I mean, but I get what you're saying. You wanted to start the show off with a bang, but only to be monumentally disappointed afterwards, because there was nothing after that. There really wasn't anything. That's why I felt like it should have been a main event. But
when you hear what I would have changed here in a little bit,
yeah,
you'll understand why I'm saying that.
Okay, then I guess I'll have to see. Well, I thought it was a great match, and then of course you got that double DQ finish or double count out. Then it shows Paige later on the night. Paige announced that they're going to have a match at Crown Jewel for the women's title. And this time, there's got to be an end. And, of course, how do you sell a good feud? a pretty physical feud. Last woman standing. But the thing that I got is that she said it will be the first time ever. Didn't we see this on NXT not too long ago?
Mm-hmm.
And why do they continue? They did this with Evolution. They do this, obviously, with Last Woman Standing. The main roster ignores the outside world and completely oblivious. Either that or they just try to take credit for everything. And we'll get into that, Fearless. We're going to get into the Crown Jewel thing. But what do you think about them announcing that match? And I want to get your thoughts on why they ignore what's happened already. and continue to make it seem like they're the only ones that are doing this stuff.
Oh, man. First of all, I love the idea of the match. If we're going to put an end to this feud, you have to do it in a last woman standing or an I Quit match. It need
Definitely
to be one of the two. As for why they do this junk, yes, we did see it in NXT. It is not the first time. It's almost like they feel like the entire universe, and I know y'all have heard me say this time, and they think we're all second graders, and our memory goes back to what we had to lunch the day before, and that's it. It's as far back as we can remember. It pisses me off. I mean, guys, we're smarter than that. We know it's not the first one. Is it going to take away anything from the match that it's not the first one? No, I'm still going to buy in. I'm still going to watch it.
Yep.
So why throw it in? But, I mean, it is what it is. It's just one of those stupidity things that I've written off and don't even pay attention to anymore.
Well, I know, yeah, they don't acknowledge outside of the main roster, but, let's see, Fearless says WWE needs another big I Quit match. That would be a good one. Actually, that would have been better for, like, AJ Joe feud, honestly, in my opinion. But if you want to do it with the women's, I wouldn't oppose to that whatsoever. They could pull that off. Orton and Cena bragging rights, yep. Yeah, I wouldn't oppose to that. That would be pretty cool because, again, the chemistry they have, they could probably pull off any kind of match. Any kind of match you throw at them. I'm sure they'll knock it out of the park. All right, so going from that to, we're going to cover the two World Cup matches that they had that night. First one being Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. Now, of course, they went with that angle with Samoa Joe because he hurt his knee in the match against AJ Styles back at Super Showdown only 72 hours before. Now he's going into the match with Jeff Hardy, hoping to qualify for the World Cup. I mean, of course, they kind of called the match in favor of Jeff Hardy because of Samoa Joe's inability to continue on as he injured his leg. You're going on with as far as hurting his credibility. It wasn't that loss to AJ Styles. I think this probably hurt him more than anything else in the past week. Can we at least agree on that one?
Absolutely.
Okay. First of all, we'll go into what did you think what did you think of the match? I mean, I'm sure we're probably going to be on the same page with that.
It was crap, first of all.
Yeah.
Total crap. But this starts to get into what I was talking about to where I would have rearranged things. If it was me doing the booking on this,
Okay.
Jeff Hardy wouldn't have been seen. Everybody knows how I feel about Jeff Hardy. He's over the hill. He can't perform anymore. Plus,
Exactly.
you just had him go through hell in a cell and put on a match that he should have been written off for quite a while.
Yeah.
So why he's back, I don't get it. But right here's where I change things. I have no problem with the Randy Orton versus Big Show, but it should have been the match following the women.
Yeah.
And then Samoa Joe, the person he should have been facing for the World Cup, should have been Almas. And that should have been our main event of the night. That's where I would have changed things. But as for the match, the way it happened, it's an absolute joke. And it made Samoa Joe just look weak and stale. And now where do you take him from here?
All right, so we kind of agree on because you want to go with Almas, but instead of putting him in the beginning of the show like I wanted to, you put him in the main event with Samoa Joe. Totally agree with you on that one. Actually, you changed my opinion. I like that. That would have been great for the show, and it might have made me change my opinion as far as the overall rating for SmackDown, and it might have actually went over on Raw, but they didn't go that route. They went with Samoa Joe.
and probably would have changed your opinion on the World Cup a little bit there too.
Yeah, exactly. It would have, definitely. And how Cien Almas could have taken out Joe. Yeah, you got two heels going against each other, but you're going to have two faces go after each other for the WWE Championship at Crown Jewel. So, I mean, let's stop with the good guy versus bad guy thing. That's been long gone in the WWE.
It's not a good guy. It's not a bad guy. They're just the guys.
They're superstars. They're not wrestlers. Oh, Jesus Christ, Vince. You know what? Go to the XFL so your son-in-law can take it over and bring it back to what it used to be. Okay? I have confidence in Triple H. And if anyone that doesn't, motherfuckers, watch NXT, okay? And you'll be convinced that WWE is in good hands once he takes over. I know I've said that a million times plus one. Okay? There you go. Mm-hmm. All right. Then let's go into the second match because we already talked about the first one with Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. Now let's go into the one that you said that should have been a follow-up after the SmackDown Women's Championship. Randy Orton, Big Show. Again, this is the first match that Big Show has had since coming back from the injury. Randy Orton, doing his thing with Ty Dillinger, but they put that on hold for this World Cup qualifier. What did you think of the match? And, yeah. What did you just go with? What do you think of the match?
It was good to see Big Show back. I mean, It's nice, but I said early. That's what I thought about the match.
All right. And Deficit Disorder said it correctly. They brought out poor old Big Show to job that Orton. That's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. Why could they have not have job out for Dillinger? I think you could have went with that with the little rivalry, but no, I don't think it would have been good. I'm sure after this whole Crown Jewel bullshit goes on, I think they're going to have a great match at possibly Survivor Series with them too. We talked about that last week, that we are actually big fans of that. Shockingly, I can't wait to see where they go with it, but this could be the end of the character of Ty Dillinger, bringing in a new character, a new persona, and a reinvention of this character and him in the WWE. Or this could be something that could put him over going against someone like Randy Orton, a good veteran in the WWE, especially in the SmackDown roster. All right, so we talked about the whole they should rename the tournament to the U.S. Veterans Cup because it's not the World Cup, as it's all legends and all United States citizens so far. But again, that could change because you got Rey Mysterio wrestling. You got to have others that will probably, with various backgrounds, finally qualify for it. Now, here's the thing. Before we go into it, and again, we already talked about this, so I guess all this is just another example of relying on their legends instead of the current guys. Because, again, you said you should have put Almas against Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. That would have been perfect. Instead of Jeff Hardy, and then putting Jeff Hardy, a veteran that's been in it. Someone actually said it perfectly, and I agree with this. It's the 2005 World Cup. WWE World Cup. Because these are all wrestlers that were in their prime during that time period, was 2005. Of course, Jeff Hardy was actually a teenager, but you get my point. And I agree with the person. All right, so let's go on. Do you have anything else to say before we move along to the next portion of the show?
Just on the World Cup side.
Yeah.
The one thing I wrote down on this was, I get where you're coming from. It's the veteran side, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I wrote down is I would be willing to hold my opinion for a week or two because I want to see what they do with guys like Baron Corbin, for one. I feel like is going to be in. I want to see if they try to give Finn Balor an opportunity.
Isn't Corbin French?
I think he is. I'd have to look that up.
He's not American. I know that for sure. I think he's French. But
I don't want to get caught lying. But I think Finn Balor could be a name we watch for. And I think Shinsuke, who should have been this week, could be another one we need to watch for. So I'm not going to go out and say it's the all-veteran side yet. But it's sure shaping up to look that way.
Yeah. No, he was born in Kansas. Okay. I thought he was French. I've heard before that he wasn't from here. But thank God I checked up because then we would really look like asses if we continued with that.
Right.
All right. So We're still on that it would have been all Americans. All right, so moving along from the World Cup situation, which probably won't even happen, to Miz and Daniel Bryan. How did they recover from that 2-minute, just a shit match at Super Showdown? And how did they do that? They have an interaction on Miz TV, one of the greatest segments in the history of WWE. Forget about Piper's Pit. Forget about the Heartbreak Hotel. Forget about all of them. Miz TV is where it's at. And what did you have?
Must-see TV.
Damn right. And the two guests he had was, of course, the WWE champion AJ Styles, along with Daniel Bryan, in discussion with their with the upcoming match at Crown Jewel for the WWE Championship. Well, of course, they had to throw lines at the Miz, pretty much shitting on him for losing to Daniel Bryan in 2 minutes. They spent most of the segment knocking on the Miz. Now, I got an audio clip which I'm going to share with you right now. So let me go to the call. Share system sound. I got an audio clip courtesy of WWE.com. After shitting on him, the Miz doing what he does best. Here we go. And let me know if you can hear it.
Enough. It figures you two would be so bored with each other you had to turn your attention to me. I have tried. I have kept my mouth shut, and I have tried to remain professional. But you want the honest truth? The truth is, you stole my WWE Championship opportunity with your fluke small package. You don't believe me? Look at the footage. My shoulder was up. The referee was out of position. And I went back and I demanded a rematch to Paige, but you're such a charity case that she wouldn't give it to me. I beat you at SummerSlam. I beat you at Hell in a Cell. I beat you down week after week after week. And you come up with this lame, suck the air out of the stadium, roll up to win? At least when I beat you, I knocked you out. And you're just another one of him with an annoying southern accent. You've been WWE champion for almost a year.
This is the best line right here.
And the title has never been more irrelevant and less prestigious. You want to know why the WWE championship doesn't headline pay-per-views? Look in the mirror.
There you go. Man, I had to play that because, again, we all agree with how The Miz is, that he is the man, he is the guy. I mean, that was the line out of that whole segment. I must say, given what, after that debacle with Super Showdown, do you feel they redeemed themselves with this segment?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's The Miz. Give the guy a mic and he's going to knock it out of the park. I mean, it's a great job. What else can you say about it?
I can say this. If you're going to have a shit match that lasted 2 minutes, and of course they threw their little lines at him, but the fact that you went personal, because that's not what he probably really thinks, and a lot of people in the locker room think about the whole WWE Championship not main eventing, because that is the prestigious title. That is their company title. And for him to throw out what people say on social media, people that say in other podcasts, people say on Busted Open radio show on SiriusXM, just name dropping here, some of the shows that have said that too. We all think that. Why isn't the WWE Championship? And he kind of threw that jab. In my opinion, he should be main event because AJ Styles is the number 2 greatest wrestler in the world right now, next to Kenny Omega.
Number 1.
Well, we agree to disagree, okay? we already got into that before. we got into that not too long ago, but nonetheless, yeah. I feel like after that crappy match, this was one of the things that saved the show for me, was that segment, because it was rebounding off a huge disaster. But did it hurt the rivalry? It still hurt it. This might have brought something back to it. How they're going to rebuild it from there after this match at Crown Jewel, I would like to say my feelings are, obviously the Miz is going to get involved. But would it be enough to get him involved that would cost Bryan his chance or AJ the title? What do you think if that was going to happen?
I don't know. For some reason, I just got this gut feeling that there's going to be few more seeds planted, and we're going to end up seeing a triple threat.
That would work, actually.
That's just my feeling.
I wouldn't even be opposed to that. I think that would be a good one.
Oh, and Miz has proven how good he is inside triple threats. So we know what Bryan and Styles are. They're phenomenal no matter what they do. And the Miz has proven in any kind of scenario where you got 3, 4 men, whatever it is, he puts on a great show. So to me, it would be the most logical way to get through the mess they created at Super Showdown. But I got to hold that opinion until I see what they do next week.
Well, I'm good. I agree.
That could be the big hinge point. It's next week.
All right, and we'll of course see it. But I agree with Adam Jones. He's going to interfere. It's a matter who he's going to screw over. Is he going to screw over the challenger, or is he going to end the reign of AJ Styles? To continue the rivalry, if you're going to continue it, would be awesome. Miz chasing him for the title, but we always said it would probably have been better if Bryan was to lose that back at the Super Showdown, creating that self-doubt, going into the Royal Rumble, because they planted that seed back at the Greatest for a Rumble back in April that he could hang and he could possibly win. And if he was with that self-doubt, going into the Rumble, winning the Rumble, going to WrestleMania, somehow Miz at some point wins the title, with them two facing off for the title at WrestleMania, I think that's what everyone wants. I don't think it should be sooner, but if they feel they have to rebuild that storyline in some kind of way, would that be the right move, making the title match now instead of WrestleMania? That's my question to you real quick, and we'll move along. How would you feel with that if they do it sooner?
I'm glad that they would do it sooner. I'm not sold on the WrestleMania idea. To be honest, I don't think that one is worthy of being a WWE title match at WrestleMania.
Really?
I would have rather them held off the AJ Styles versus Bryan, and that be my WrestleMania match for the title. Unless I'm getting AJ against Shawn Michaels, and then I'll change my whole opinion there.
All right. I guess we'll see that. Well, I guess what I have to say. I think it would be worthy enough. They're two great workers. Two incredibly talented wrestlers. I'm going to emphasize that. Not superstars, wrestlers. They're very talented. We'll see what they're going to do with that. But that was a stepping stone to going back to the right direction, because it was on all cylinders, man. They were going down the road at 80 miles per hour with that huge break at Super Showdown, and now they started picking up the pace again. And hopefully they redeem themselves. I mean, redeem themselves for the mistake they made. I know what they were trying to do with the Legends match, but they could have cut that short on something else, because I think one of the best rivalries right now, or all on SmackDown when you really think about it. If you take away that Shield thing, one of the top three: Charlotte and Becky, AJ and Joe, and then of course you had Miz and Bryan. And one of your top three big rivalries going on right now, big storylines, and you cut it short. Let's see how they rebuild that. All right, so that was it. Do you have any other thoughts? Because I rambled on there. I'm sorry. Any other thoughts before we go on?
No. The only thing I would add to it is you said that helped redeem what they did the other day. Just moving into where we're headed next, I'm hoping you redeem yourself for that mess up of a top 5 list last week.
Okay, well, first of all, but we're not going to knock on the fact that I had. You know what? Hold on. I'm starting to get mad. Hold on. Give me a second. Shanti. Okay. All right, I'm good. You were starting to get me mad. What was wrong with my power rankings last week? He beat Daniel Bryan. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was Daniel Bryan. I'm sorry. He beat Daniel Bryan. It wasn't some scrub that he beat. So, damn right I was putting a guy like that on there. But, all right. Now that you brought it up, let's get into it. Oh, actually, hold on. What would you rate SmackDown before we go on? I'll say 2.
I'm I'm going to give it a 1. That's how
Ooh,
disappointed I
damn.
was in this show.
Damn, I'm the generous one on this one. Okay. All right. Well, I give it a 2. He gives it a 1. Now we're done with SmackDown. We're done with Raw. We're definitely done covering Super Showdown. Guess what time? It's time for... Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the list. This is segment, our version of the WWE Power Rankings. And we give our top 5 every week. Of course, we may crack on each other's power rankings. Like my friend here is doing to my precious power rankings last week. But can I redeem myself? Should I go first this week? Because I usually go last.
Oh, no. Let's hear it. Let's hear your Shelton Benjamin call out.
On. Well, by the way, he's not on it this week. But my number, here's my top 5 for this week. And this is, of course, for what happened at Raw, SmackDown, and, of course, Super Showdown. Number 5, Bobby Lashley. Of course, he got the victory over John Cena back at Super Showdown. Wasn't much of a match, not much of a build. But nonetheless, he did get the victory. But then not even 48 hours later, this happened. The thing that we've been hoping would happen 3-4 months ago, he became heel. And we're looking forward to what he is capable of and what the WWE is going to allow him to be as a heel. For that, he's number 5. Number 4, of course, you have to go with Daniel Bryan. Yeah. For what he did at Super Showdown with The Miz, yeah. All right. And then, of course, the segment, Miz TV. So he's number 4. Number 3, I'm going to pair these two up together because of what they did back at Super Showdown and again on SmackDown Live to start the show. And this is a pairing of Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. And I know people have been opposed that we paired people up, but how can you not? This was a team effort to pull off 2 great matches on the big show at Super Showdown. And again, to start off, which was the saving grace for SmackDown Live, okay? Let's be honest. It was a shit show other than that match. So they're number 3. Number 2, Randy Orton. Again, it's only against the big show, but the continued winning success that he's had, continue what he's doing with what he's done with Ty Dillinger, it's just a roller coaster ride for him. I know it wasn't much of a victory because beating a big 400-pound guy, whatever he is at this point, that has been gone for a year, but he's still... He qualifies for the World Cup. It's number 2, and I know people will give me shit for that. But number 1, you got to go with AJ Styles, your WWE champion. Yes. How can I not have the Universal champion but the WWE champion? Because he won on his own. That's the difference. He beat Samoa Joe. May have put an end to the rivalry between them two. That remains to be seen. And the one thing we didn't mention is that the possibility of Samoa Joe getting involved in that match against the Daniel Bryan, that's possible too. We didn't get to that. But that's my rankings. Lashley, Bryan, Flair, Lynch, Randy Orton, and Styles gets number 1 this week. Okay, before you go to yours, I would love to hear, am I going to get crucified again?
I won't crucify you this week, but you do got something with that number 2 spot for some reason. I don't agree with Randy Orton being there, but I understand your logic. So I'm not going to throw a fit at you for it.
Okay. What's up, Turtle? Totally wasted. Welcome, my friend.
All right. I am going to shock you on my number 5. I'm actually bringing NXT into this one.
Ooh, so this is a first for the show. Okay.
And the only reason I'm doing this is the opening segment of NXT this week was so good. I could have put all 3 of these people in my top 5, and it would have been great. That being Velveteen Dream, Tommaso Ciampa.
So good.
But the one that stood out to me, Nikki Cross, selling this character of knowing a secret and just being all over the place, was so phenomenal. I give Nikki Cross my number 5 spot this week.
Wow. Okay, that is the first for the show. I applaud you for that. I agree with you on that. Go ahead.
Number 4, Drew McIntyre. Once again, keeps doing what he does. Doesn't look weak, doesn't take losses, and he actually picks up the win on Monday Night Raw for the team. Number 3, Daniel Bryan. Becoming the number 1 contender, even though it was a crap match.
Yeah.
And then just what him and The Miz and AJ did on the mic Tuesday night. And he's number 1 contender, so number 3.
All right.
Number 2, AJ Styles. Big win over Samoa Joe. Same reasoning might work on Tuesday night. Got to have the WWE champ up there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, she's been on my list for the last several weeks, Becky Lynch. Even though some people weren't happy with how the match went down, it was actually a great show at Super Showdown, and they lit the house on fire to open the show Tuesday night. Great job, Becky Lynch. Well-deserved number 1 this week.
All right. You know what? I do like your placements of things, and you know what? McIntyre, I really agree with. I actually kind of regret that I didn't put him in there, but I have mine, you have yours, and that's the beauty part of that. All right. Now, we're going into a couple things. We got one subject, but before we go with that, let's announce the contest we're going to have. For the people that don't know, we're actually on iTunes, so if you can't catch this show live every Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch, you can catch us on iTunes. That we'll have it out for every Sunday night for you guys if you can't catch the show live. And we have a contest for you guys to get involved, to do something that we thought would be awesome, but it would also get us 5-star reviews. And we're going to call this the 5-star promo. And what you need to do is go to our, pretty much search this out, Go Home Wrestling Show. We're live on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. And when you do, cut a promo with that 5-star review. And it can be anything from something you like about our show to something that, like D-Shep, hating 205 Live. Same thing with Madgriff. Cut a promo on why 205 Live is good and call them out on it. Do it in a wrestling promo. And the best part is, every week we're going to pull the previous week's 5-star reviews, and we're going to read them out as they were a promo. That's a segment we're going to do with that. So, in the process, we're going to do it for the next 5 weeks. And November 17th, the weekend of the Survivor Series, we're going to pull a winner for a chance to win a gift card. And it could be a PlayStation Network. It could be Xbox. As of right now, it's going to be a $20 gift card. But it could be even more as it gets closer to the event. So, in a nutshell, go on iTunes right now. Search Go Home Wrestling Show on iTunes. Leave a 5-star review and cut a promo. And it could be, actually, another one you could do is give a warning to other podcasts out there. That could be another option. But give a nice promo and give us 5 stars. And we're going to pull all the selections, all the reviews from the week, and we'll cut our promos. We'll read it as a promo for you guys. And I'm excited. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Do you have anything before we go any further on that?
Make sure when you do these promos, guys, if you want a certain host on the show to cut your promo, make sure to let us know on that as well. We're also going to make this a contest between us guys who can read these promos off and perform the better promos. So please go do that. Have fun with it. And help me kick EJ and D-Shep's butt in this.
Oh, what the hell's that about?
I'm going to kick your tail in the promo, buddy.
First of all, if you people didn't see on Twitter today, I am a good intro guy, okay?
I was setting you up.
Oh. Well, I wish I brought that video up, and I didn't actually do that, so I didn't do my homework. But you could go on wrestling_go on Twitter. Someone asked me today, they were at my job, they had a hot dog eating contest, and a coworker of mine, we always talk wrestling. He came up to me today. He's like, I want you to introduce me. And he told me he's coming out as Brock Lesnar. He's like, I want you to be my Paul Heyman guy. And I said, no problem. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe it might come off pretty good if I play it from here. Let's see. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Albert Brownlee, and I am your advocate for the
You got my real name, by the way.
the conqueror, and soon to be your hot dog champion, Nick Alba.
There you go. And by the way, you got my real name. Yes, I got the same name as a fucking cartoon character. All right? That's why I go by AJ.
Hey, D-Nice. Welcome, buddy.
What's up,
Thanks for
D-Nice?
tuning in.
So there you go. You want to talk about? You're going to have some competition, my friend. Oh, damn, that did come out loud. You got competition, my friend. All right.
I'm ready for it.
I guess that was your way to try to get me to embarrass myself. I got it. I took your bait. I don't give a fuck. I enjoyed it.
Set it up perfect.
I don't care. I enjoyed it. All right. I had fun. Fuck you. Great one. You can be in this contest. All you got to do is subscribe. All you got to do is leave a 5-star review. Leave 5 stars. Cut a promo. It could be on anything. Warning to other podcasts. Anything that any inside jokes with this show. It could be anything. We'll pull all the selections out from that week, and we'll read it ourselves. And whoever you decide that you want it, you put it at the end, who you want to read that promo. Just a reminder, you just heard what I'm capable of, and I'm sure you want to hear what Madgriff's capable of. I would like for someone to choose D-Shep, too. I would love to see what he's capable of. All right, so...
And the great one, just to throw out an idea, and you may shut me down on this one, but if you would want to do your own promo like that, absolutely, man. Send in a video to one of us, and we could probably get that live on air as we go through this.
I have an idea, too. You know what? And this is just brainstorming. We should do a promo off. You got your rap battle. Do a promo battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should do that.
We can get everybody to send in videos of their promos.
No, do it live.
A tournament of promos. Yeah, there you go.
Fuck it, do it live through Discord. We have people come on Discord. They don't have to be seen. They just got to be heard. Again, we're brainstorming live on the air. We'll get to that later on. Well, maybe we can do that for the Survivor Series weekend to end it. TC Gamers 1811, welcome, my friend. Welcome. All right, now... We talked about the iTunes contest. Let's go into this real quick, and then we're just going to end the show. How can we have the show and not talk about the situation going on with WWE Crown Jewel? And for people that are not familiar with what's going on, there was a Saudi citizen that came over here, worked for the Washington Post, and he did articles very critical of the Saudi government, how they treat women, all that. He was just very negative towards Saudi Arabia. And he was going to be set to be married, and there was some paperwork he had to file for. Long story short, he had to go to Saudi Arabia to file that paperwork, but he said he didn't feel comfortable. He went to Turkey to the Saudi consulate. He went into the building, having his fiance wait outside, waiting for him. 2 hours goes by. She goes in there trying to figure out what's going on, and they said that he left. He has gone missing since then, and this has caused a big backlash with the WWE because here's a situation where a guy's been pretty much feared to be murdered for his, I guess, speech. And over here, it's freedom of speech. Over there, not so much. And I want to get your thoughts for what basically what I told you, or if anything you have read. I mean, should you feel that they should cancel this event or at least move it to another venue at this point?
I still need to do some more checking into all this, but no, I would not cancel this. I don't want to send the message anywhere that we're fearful of anything. So continue with the event. I understand there's going to be backlash, but there's going to be backlash no matter how you go about this. So go on with the event. And send a message. We're not going to back down from anything.
Yeah, the backlash would be because the very thing that, I mean, it's been accused here. But again, I don't want to get political. But this is a different circumstance where, yeah, politics does go into wrestling on this one. And, yeah, Get 'em Jones, I understand what you're saying. They're under contract, so it'll be hard to get out of it. Yeah, I could see that, but these circumstances, I think they could actually fight and they could actually win on this one. Yeah, just a lot of people feel that they should move the venue. I think if you're going to do anything, I think you should just delay it maybe a month or two. Delay it. At least you can still have it going. You're not going to be a breach of contract. And you know how things are. Things blow over time. You know, 1 second people are heated about this. Next second they're on to another thing to piss off about. And a lot of this backlash is mostly social media. And you know how people are on social media. They're just bird brains. You know, they're on to something else before they before you know it. As of 12 hours ago, WWE moving forward with Crown Jewel despite controversy. Yeah, that was reported 12 hours ago. I read a reliable source. As of 7 p.m., they actually are considering searching for another venue. But if anything, they could push it back. And again, people will get over it pretty quick. It's a sin for what's happened to that guy. But yeah, like you said, they'll get backlash, but people will get over it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you don't want people fearing. But that's the thing. A lot of the senators and people in Washington, D.C. were saying that maybe it wouldn't be so safe for them. But they were there back in April. And, I mean, everything went pretty good. Mm-hmm. I guess we'll find out. Anyone in chat, if you have an opinion, because someone spoke about this earlier in chat, I would like to get their opinion. And as we wait for that, let me go into this, and then we'll end the show. For people that are listening to us live right now, if you can't catch us, make sure you subscribe to iTunes for the contest. Or if you don't have an iPhone, you can subscribe on Stitcher, Google Podcast, or SoundCloud. And for the people that are listening to us on the podcast on those platforms, you could, if you want to get involved, if you want to talk with us in real time, you could watch us on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer under the Go Home Wrestling Show. And when we're not live, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at wrestling_go. Electrify is at UnderdogFly. Madgriff, my buddy right here, is under Madgriff86. And then D-Shep, that will be back in a week or two, is under D-Shep1979. So you can chat with us live on social media when we're not live on the air. All right, so no one had anything else to say about that, I guess. And it could be the delay. I don't know. But I think we covered just about everything. We were going to have Artemisia Studios on tonight, but he said he wasn't feeling well. But he said he'll come on. So for the people that saw that on Twitter earlier, he wasn't feeling well. And we wish him, that he has a speedy recovery. It's probably nothing serious, but we hope he feels better and hope to get him on pretty soon. Before we get off, B Ferris TV says, I'll say move to Wembley. That would be cool. But they have an NFL game on the 28th, and that would be a quick turnaround. Yeah, because I know the 21st is the Eagles one, which I'll be watching at 9:30 in the morning. They have one more on the 28th, and they have one this coming Sunday. So, yeah, it would be hard to turn around pretty quick. I just think delaying the event would be good. Okay, no problem, great one. We're looking forward to hearing you, talk to you about that. All right, do you have anything else? I'm sorry, Madgriff, I rambled on too much. Do you have anything before we get off?
No, I think I'm good to go.
All right. And with that being said, guys, it's been real fun, but we're out. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, Nighthawks, for the raid. Thank you for the host, Timmy Big Guns. Everyone that popped in tonight, thank you so much. And if you haven't hit that follow button, make sure you do. And, again, if you want a chance of winning a gift card, subscribe to us on iTunes and be a part of that contest. We're going to be doing the first segment. We're going to pull our first entries next week. So make sure you do it ASAP so we can pull them and we'll read them. Make sure on the bottom you leave the person's name that you want to read the promo. I'm sure it's probably going to be more you, Madgriff, than me. Everyone, have a great night. B. Ferris, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, to Twitch Wrestling Network. Thank you for bringing us along. We're so happy to be a part of this family. And don't forget, next Monday, we'll have our first episode of Twitch Wrestling Network Wrestling, where we're going to pull a match from all the universes, the best match of the week from all the universes, a part of the Twitch Wrestling Network, and we're going to do it into a nice one big show for you guys every Monday. It will be a double show next Monday, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone, we're out. We'll see you next week. Thank you for staying and chatting with us. This is the Go Home Wrestling Show. Later, everybody.